Hi everyone, and welcome to another Doctor Who figure review by me, Max Shots. Now today I'm going to be bringing you a review of the Victory of the Daleks collector's set, which is this year's San Diego Comic Con exclusive Doctor Who action figure set. Now this particular set consists of a Winston Churchill figure, a Teatime Dalek figure, and several accessories for Winston Churchill. Now I got this particular set very recently from ForbiddenPlanet.com for just over £26.99. I think this is an absolutely fantastic set. I love its bits already, but before we go into any more detail about these two figures and their accessories, we're going to take a look at the pack. Okay, so if we take a look at the front, we can see the figures and their accessories in a clear plastic bubble surrounded by some information about both of the figures and the new Doctor Who logo. On one side of the packaging we can see a picture of Ian McNeice in the character of Winston Churchill in Victory of the Daleks. Next to this picture we can see some information about the figure. On the other side we can see a picture of one of the Teatime Daleks from Victory of the Daleks, and there's also some information about the figure next to that picture as well. On the back we can see a picture of the 11th Doctor fighting with one of the Ironsides from the story, and there's also a good bit of detail about what happened in the Doctor Who story Victory of the Daleks. There's also some information about the contents of the set in the bottom right corner of the back, and then if we take a look at the bottom we can see the same usual company information and the Underground Toys logo. Also the packaging comes with this very nice background which shows the cabinet wall rooms from Victory of the Daleks and also the Pandorica opens. Okay, so here we have the Victory of the Daleks collector's set. Now, the Winston Churchill figure in this set is our first historical character figure from Doctor Who, and this particular Winston Churchill figure is made from a completely new sculpt, so he doesn't reuse any parts from previous character options Doctor Who figures. He comes with several accessories as well, which include a swappable head, swappable hand, 2 sets of glasses, and also 3 telephones. The Teatime Dalek figure, or the Teatime Dalek Ironside figure, is pretty much a re-release of the Series 5 Wave 1 Dalek Ironside figure with a few repainted parts and also a new arm, which is the T-tray arm. Okay, that's pretty much a basic overview of the set, and now I'm going to start reviewing the figures, starting with the Winston Churchill figure. Okay, so here we have the Winston Churchill figure. Now, Winston Churchill in Doctor Who was played by the actor Ian McNeice, who appeared in the Series 5 episodes The Beast Below, Victory of the Daleks, Pandorica Opens, and also the Series 6 episode The Wedding of River Song. I'd love to see Winston Churchill again in Doctor Who. He's one of my favourite Doctor Who characters, and I think Ian McNeice did a really great job with the character. I think he's a really great actor, and I'd love to see him reprise the role in either Series 7 or another series of Doctor Who at some point in the near future. Anyway, on to the figure. As I said before, this figure is made from a completely new sculpt, so it doesn't reuse any parts from previous Doctor Who action figures by character options. And now we're going to start taking a look at the detailed paintwork and sculpting. Okay, so as usual we're going to start off by taking a look at the head sculpt. Now this is one of 2 head sculpts that this particular Winston Churchill figure comes with. There's this head which obviously doesn't have a hat, and there's this head which does have a hat. As you can see, both of these head sculpts are quite similar, so I do have quite similar thoughts on them. We'll take a closer look at this one later on in the video. If I was to give some comments on this particular head sculpt, I'd say that I absolutely love it, and I think that it's got a absolutely brilliant likeness to the actor Ian McNeice. I think the facial features have been sculpted and painted really nicely. I think that it looks like Ian McNeice from all the sides, and I just love it to bits. I think maybe the hair could have been a bit better if it was more of a lighter brown like it was in the story, but I still do love this head sculpt, and I think that Underground Toys or character options have done a really great job with it. That's it for this particular head sculpt. If we take a look at his torso, we can see that he is wearing a black jacket, a black waistcoat, a white shirt, and a dark blue bow tie. Just like it was in the episode, the bow tie is dark blue with several white dots. I think this is a really nice feature of the figure. It's quite small, but it does look really nice up close, and it looks just really nice and accurate just the way it is. I really like the white shirt. We can see underneath it as well. We can't see much of it, but we can see the collar and also where the buttons are, and possibly a few creases as well. The waistcoat is also a very nice part of the figure. If we take a look at it up close, we can see several buttons going down the middle, a few creases on each side, and also this very nice silver chain. The black jacket is also very highly detailed. We can see that it has 2 lapels, one on each side, the 3 buttons down here and the 3 buttonholes down here. We can see that it also has a pocket on each side, a little white handkerchief, which Winston Churchill did have in the episode Victory of the Daleks, some creases on the sleeves and also some creases on the back, as well as this line going down the middle. There's also some buttons on the sleeves as well. His trousers are also very nice. They've been painted with dark grey and they are also very highly detailed. We can see lots of these lines going down from the waist down towards his shoes and plenty of creases. We can see quite a few on the front here, quite a few on the sides, and also many more. Like the shoes of some of the 11th Doctor figures, the shoes of this Winston Churchill figure are pretty basic. They've been painted with a very glossy black paints. They aren't very detailed either, but if we take a look at them up close, we can see some creases on them and also the shoelaces. So, from head to toe, like many other Doctor Who Series 5 action figures, this Winston Churchill figure is absolutely covered with brilliant detail and fantastic paintwork. I'm really impressed by all the great detail and paintwork this particular Winston Churchill figure has. I'm really happy with it. I think it looks very much like the actor Ian McNeice, and I think Character Options or Underground Toys have done a really great job with the clothing on this figure. It all looks really nice and accurate, and I don't have any problems with it whatsoever. That's it for the detailed paintwork and sculpting for now, and now we're going to take a look at his articulation. Okay, articulation. Winston's head can turn from side to side. Can't do a full 360 degree turn, but it doesn't really need to. The arms can turn 360 degrees at the shoulders, as well as go inwards and outwards on the shoulders because of the new ball joints. The arms can also swivel 360 degrees at the biceps. The arms can also bend up and down at the elbows, and also both hands can turn 360 degrees at the wrists. He also has this joint at the waist where he can turn from side to side a little bit, and that is all the articulation on this figure. As you can see, he has no other joints on the legs nor any joints on the feet. Despite the fact that this Winston Churchill figure doesn't have any lower body articulation, I think the articulation on this figure is absolutely fine the way it is. I don't think it needs any improvements whatsoever. And now I'm going to give you a summary of my thoughts on this particular figure. So, overall, I think the Winston Churchill figure from the Victory of the Daleks collector set is a wonderful addition to my Doctor Who figure collection. This is a figure I absolutely love. I am just so happy with this figure. As I said before, I think this figure has an excellent likeness to the actor Ian McNeice, and I think it has all the great detail and great paintwork it needs to be a really nice, accurate representation of him from the episode Victory of the Daleks. I think the sculpt for this figure is absolutely fantastic. I don't have any problems with the detail, nor any problems with the articulation, and this is a figure I'd recommend to anyone that is a fan of the actor Ian McNeice, or anyone that is a fan of Doctor Who. So if I was to give the Winston Churchill figure a rating out of 10, I'd say I'd quite happily give him a 9.5 out of 10. This is a absolutely brilliant figure that is by far one of my favourite Doctor Who Series 5 action figures, but as I said before, I think it could have been a bit better if the hair on top of the head was more of a lighter brown like it was in that episode Victory of the Daleks. That's pretty much it for the Winston Churchill figure for now, and now we're going to start taking a look at his accessories. So, let's swap the heads. Now, one thing I really like about this Winston Churchill figure that I haven't said before is the fact that the heads on this figure are so easy to swap. I have had no trouble getting the normal head off the body, and it's just been so easy to do. I've had a lot of trouble doing it with some of the past Doctor Who figures, including the 4th Doctor from the first wave of classic series figures. Let's just put it onto the figure. There we go. Now this swappable head is exactly the same as the normal head this particular figure comes with, but with just a black hat on the top. It's a really nice head sculpt. It's got that same great likeness to Ian McNeice and a very nice grumpy facial expression as well. The hat on the top is pretty basic. It's just black, doesn't have much detail, but it still is very nice and accurate just the way it is. And if I was to give this particular head sculpt a rating out of 5, I'd say I'd give it a 4.5 out of 5. I think it is absolutely fantastic, very useful for recreating those scenes from Victory of the Daleks when Winston Churchill did have a hat, but I do think it could have been just a little bit better if the hair on the back was more of a lighter brown like it was in the story. Despite my little problem with the hair, I still love this head sculpt, and this is actually my favourite out of the 2 head sculpts that this particular figure comes with. That's it for the swappable head, and now we're going to start taking a look at his swappable hand. Now this figure comes with 2 different right hands. There's this one which has a V for Victory sign, and this one which is more of a normal open hand. I think the V for Victory hand is a really nice touch to the set. I wasn't actually thinking this was going to be done for this figure, but it's really nice. I like it a lot. The hands are very easy to swap on this figure. All you need to do to swap the hands is get one of the hands, pull it out of the joint, then get the other hand and put it in the same joint like so. There isn't much I can say about the swappable or alternative hand. I think it's quite good. It has all the detail that it needs, like obviously the fingers, the creases in the skin, and also the fingernails as well. A good thing about this hand is the fact that it can hold the glasses that the figure comes with as well. If I was to give the swappable hand a rating out of 5, I'd give it a 5 out of 5. There's not much to it, but it's a nice feature of the set. And now we're going to take a look at the glasses. Now this particular figure comes with 2 sets of glasses which are removable. They are the first removable glasses we have ever seen in the Doctor Who action figure line, by the way. I think the glasses are really nice despite the fact that they are very small, fragile and quite easy to lose. They look exactly like they did in the episode with the little brown parts and also the clear plastic visors. They do stay on both the head sculpts very nicely, by the way, and they don't tend to fall off much, but I would suggest being careful with them if you are using them on the actual figures, because you wouldn't want to make them fall out of place and make them fall down somewhere in which you wouldn't be able to find them again. If I was to give the glasses a rating out of 5, I'd say I'd quite happily give them a 5 out of 5. They are great little accessories that are incredibly useful for scene recreations and figure adventures, and I just really like them. That's it for the glasses. Okay, so here we have the telephone accessories. As you can see, you get 3 in the set. You get a dark red one, a pale creamy one, and also a light green one. I think these are really nice accessories. When I first saw pictures of them with the set, I didn't think they were really necessary, but now that I have them in my collection, I have realised that these are actually incredibly useful for things like scene recreations, figure adventures, and also many other things. So I do really like them a lot, and I think they're a really nice addition to the set. They're all made from the same sculpt, by the way. They've just been painted with different colours. They've been sculpted and painted really well. And if I was to give these a rating out of 5, I'd say I'd quite happily give them a 5 out of 5. I think they're just really brilliant little accessories. They're very useful for a lot of things, and they'll go nicely with all the other figures you may have from the story Victory of the Daleks. Okay, that's it for the telephones. Okay, so here we have the Teatime Dalek figure. Now, as I said earlier on in the review, this figure is pretty much a re-release of the Series 5 Wave 1 Dalek Ironside figure, with some new parts and also some repainted parts. And now what I'm going to do for you is give you a comparison between this Teatime Dalek figure and the Series 5 Wave 1 Dalek Ironside. Okay, time for the comparison. On the left we have the Teatime Dalek figure from the Victory of the Daleks collector set, and on the right we have the Dalek Ironside figure from Wave 1 of the Series 5 figure line. Now at first glance these figures may look pretty much the same, but there are actually quite a few differences between them. We can see that the Teatime Dalek figure has been painted with a slightly lighter shade of green than the Dalek Ironside figure. To be honest, I do prefer the shade of green on this one, as I do think it's more accurate in my opinion. We can also see that the pupils are slightly different. This one has quite a light blue pupil, whereas this one has a blue pupil that is sort of halfway between dark and bright blue to me. We can also see that the utility belts are slightly different. This one has been painted with quite a glossy paint, whereas this one has been painted with more of a normal paint. And then we can also see that the sucker arms are different. This one has a normal sucker arm, which we see on most new series Dalek figures nowadays, and we can see that the Teatime Dalek figure has a new sucker arm with a tea tray on the end. And that is pretty much it for this comparison. I don't think there are any other differences between these two Dalek Ironside variants. If there are though, please feel free to let me know about them in the comment section below. If there are any I haven't covered, I will put some info about them in YouTube video annotations or some info about them in the comment section below. That's it for the comparison, and now we're going to start taking a look at the Teatime Dalek figure. Okay, so as usual we're going to start off by taking a look at the head sculpt. Now this is pretty much exactly the same as that of the Series 5 Wave 1 Dalek Ironside figure. It's got all the same detail, like the screws around the eye stalk, the nice little Union Jack underneath the eye stalk, the lines on top of the head dome, the lights on the sides which have a few lines and also black rings on the top. It's also got the same eye stalk which has the silver part coming out of the head here, the translucent bit in the middle and the black end where the little blue pupil is. The neck is also very highly detailed. We can see that it has lots of screws going all the way around, several rings and also the black mesh. The utility belt, which is located underneath the Dalek's neck, is by far the most highly detailed part of the figure. If we take a look at it up close, we can see that it's been painted with dark green with a black wash going over the top, helping to make it look quite old and dirty in quite a few places. We can also see that it has several bags and boxes used for storage of various items during World War II. We can see a flask here, a couple of bags here, this interesting silver box, a little bit of string here, and also a couple more boxes or pockets on this side. We can even see a few screws on it. We can see one down here and a couple here just by the nice little silver buckle. I think the utility belt on this Dalek figure is really nice. I love the detail that it has and I really like that black wash going over the top of it. I just think it could have been a bit better if it was more accurate. I'd say that they were actually light brown during Victory of the Daleks, but I still do really like it just the way it is, and as I said before, it's the most highly detailed part of the figure. Okay, that's it for the utility belt, and now we're going to take a look at the weapons. Now, like the head sculpt, the exterminator arm is exactly the same as that of the previous Dalek Ironside figures, so it is pretty much standard. There's not much I can say about it really, but I will say that I really like the way it's been sculpted and I really like the way it's been painted as well. I really like that metallic silver that's been used for it, and I also really like the detail we can see around where it connects into the body with those little screws and also the black part around the end. Now the tea tray arm is also very simple yet very nice part of the figure. It's pretty much a standard Dalek sucker arm with the black parts at the end facing up towards the sky with a tea tray and also a light blue mug on top. If we take a look at the tea tray itself, we can see that it's not very detailed, but it has been sculpted and painted really well, and I really do love the little blue mug on top as well. We can also see that the little blue mug does also have some tea inside it as well. The mug isn't actually removable, it is made from the same sculpt as the tea tray itself, but it is still very nice and useful. Then finally, if we take a look at the base, we can see that it has lots of light green spheres going all the way round, and this black part at the bottom which features several sides and also several black screws. So from eye stalk to base, the Teatime Dalek figure is a very highly detailed Dalek. As I said before, it's got pretty much all the same detail as the previous Dalek Ironside figures, so if you like the detail on those figures, then this figure is definitely one for you. As I said before, I do think this figure maybe could have been a bit better if the utility belt was painted with a lighter green or a light brown for it to have been more accurate, but that's something that relates more to the paintwork than the detail. Anyway, that is pretty much all I have to say about the detail, paintwork and sculpting for now. Now the articulation on this particular Dalek figure is exactly the same as that of most of the previous new series 5-inch Dalek figures. His head can go all the way around, or turn 360 degrees in other words. The eye stalk can also go up and down a bit. The weapons are ball joints, so they can go up and down and twist a bit, same for the exterminator arm obviously. He also has wheels at the bottom, so you can make him go backwards and forwards on smooth surfaces, and you can make him turn around a bit if you want. And that's all the articulation of the Teatime Dalek figure. To be honest, I don't really have much to say about the articulation on this Dalek figure because it is pretty much standard for a new series Dalek figure. I do think it is very good though. I like the fact that you can turn the head all the way around, and I like the fact that you can make the eye stalk go up and down. I really like posing the weapons as well, especially the exterminator arm, and you can obviously put the tea tray at different heights for various other characters as well. Okay, that's all I have to say about the articulation. So, overall, I think the Teatime Dalek figure is a very nice addition to my Doctor Who figure collection. This is a figure I definitely recommend to anyone that likes the previous Dalek Ironside figures. It's pretty much the same figure, just with a few repainted parts and obviously the nice new tea-tray arm. I think this is an excellent variant for things like figure adventures, scene recreations, and also quite a few other things. It's got all the same detail as the previous Dalek Ironside figures, so I do like it a lot for that. And it does have some really great paintwork and fantastic articulation as well. And if I was to give the Teatime Dalek figure a rating out of 10, I'd say I'd quite happily give it a 9.9 out of 10. This is by far one of my favourite new series Dalek figures, and a great representation of a Dalek Ironside from the episode Victory of the Daleks. I really like this figure for all the great detail it has, as well as the fantastic paintwork and a really nice articulation as well. I really like the new repainted parts as well. I think it's good that Character Options or Underground Toys have decided to make this figure slightly different to the previous Dalek Ironside figures, so it's not boring to a few collectors out there, I suppose. As I said before, I do think this figure could have been a little bit better if the utility belt was either a light green or a light brown for it to have been just that extra bit accurate, but that is me nitpicking pretty much. There's so much I like about this figure, and the problem I have with the utility belt is a very, very small one that I do easily forget over time until I remind myself about it. So if you're a Dalek fan, or just a Doctor Who fan in general, this is definitely a figure for you, and if you haven't already got it, then I suggest you get this set and add it to your collection. Okay, that is pretty much all I have to say for the Teatime Dalek figure. If I have any more comments about this figure, I'll put them down in the comment section below or in YouTube video annotations. And so the time has come for me to deliver my verdict on this set. So overall, I think the Victory of the Daleks collector set is a wonderful addition to my Doctor Who action figure collection. This is a set I'd recommend to anyone that is currently a Doctor Who fan, or anyone that is currently a action figure collector out there at the moment. I love these two figures and their accessories in so many ways and for so many reasons. The Winston Churchill figure is by far my favourite out of the two, but I do love the Teatime Dalek figure to bits as well. As I said before, I think maybe the Winston Churchill figure could have been a bit better if his hair was a bit lighter, and I do think the Teatime Dalek figure could have been a bit better if the utility belt was a bit lighter as well, just for accuracy reasons. But that's pretty much me nitpicking. I still do love this set so much, and those little problems I have with these two figures are very easily forgotten over a short period of time for me. So if you're thinking of getting anything at the moment and you have around £27 spare, then I'd say that you should definitely get this set if you like Doctor Who and you like the episode Victory of the Daleks. These are two awesome figures that I know so many fans have been wanting for 2 years at least now, so this set pretty much makes the dreams of many collectors come true, and it has done for me. This set is pretty much a must-have. If you don't have it now, then I really do think you should buy it. Whatever you think of it is entirely up to you. If you'd like to share your comments about this set as well, you can do so freely in the comment section below, or maybe in a video response you'd like to make. And that is pretty much it for my review of the Victory of the Daleks collector set. If you have any questions about this set, please feel free to ask me in the comment section below. I'm planning to make my next review the character building series 3 Girl Who Waited set, because I did manage to get that last week from Toys R Us, and I really want to review that quite soon. I also did get the Doctor in Berlin set, but I'm thinking of reviewing that afterwards. As I said in my previous reviews, there's lots of other reviews on the way as well, not only Doctor Who ones but also a few others. There's still my G.I. Joe Retaliation Roadblock figure reviews to come, and also quite a few Avengers figure reviews to come. I have finally got the movie series Black Widow figure, by the way, so I'm planning on reviewing that very soon as well. And that is pretty much the end of this video. Thanks for watching this review, YouTubers, and hopefully I shall see you again in another video soon.